Lamar Jackson has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL since the Baltimore Ravens made him the 32nd overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. In his first full season as a starter in 2019, he exploded onto the scene with 3,127 passing yards, 36 passing touchdowns, to go along with 1,206 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns, which led to him being the unanimous MVP in the 2019 season. Since that 2019 season, he has been a top 10 quarterback, been very, very good, but he has not been able to return to that MVP caliber form that he showed in 2019. His stats have taken a noticeable dip the past few seasons. He really hasn't been putting up the same caliber of numbers that he was earlier on in his career. His last 2 seasons have also been cut short due to season-ending injuries, and he's only won 1 playoff game since entering the league in 2018. To be fair to Lamar, his offensive play caller Greg Roman really struggled to develop an effective passing scheme to play to Lamar Jackson's strengths, and it led to him actually being fired this offseason. He was also throwing to really bad wide receivers outside of Mark Andrews and maybe Rashad Bateman when he was healthy. Most of these guys were practice squad caliber players, and he really didn't have a great supporting cast when it came to his playmakers. When Lamar Jackson was out with injury as well, the Ravens offense looked very stagnant. They were not good, and it really shows how important Lamar Jackson is to this offense and to this team as a whole. That makes the 2023 offseason particularly interesting as Lamar Jackson's contract is set to expire, which will make him an unrestricted free agent. Now, there's practically no reality in which Lamar Jackson actually hits the open market and can sign with any team that he chooses due to the likelihood of a franchise tag, but the Ravens and Lamar Jackson are reportedly way off when it comes to a possible contract extension, and there are a few factors that make that extension really difficult. Most notably, Lamar Jackson is seeking a fully guaranteed contract worth more than the value of Deshaun Watson's contract in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson's contract well outpaces other quarterback contracts when it comes to guaranteed money at this point. He is set at $230 million guaranteed. Kyler Murray is in second place, around $180 to $190 million guaranteed there, so quite a ways off there. Reportedly, Lamar Jackson is pushing to have his entire contract fully guaranteed, and the Ravens really are very hesitant to do that. They don't feel that Deshaun Watson's contract really matches the market for what an extension should look like there. Recent reports indicated that Lamar Jackson turned down a 5-year, $250 million deal with $133 million of that money guaranteed at signing, and the two sides were reportedly $100 million off when it came to that guaranteed money. For Lamar Jackson, this guaranteed money is very important to him right now. Because of how he plays the position, he is susceptible to taking more hits, and it's also very difficult to continue sustained success as you get older throughout your career when you are relying on a rushing attack as a quarterback. So that makes getting the most out of this contract very important for Lamar Jackson, and it makes a lot of sense that he wants to maximize his value right now and ensure that he is getting the most money possible to set himself up for long-term financial security there. For the Ravens, it also makes sense that they're hesitant to do this. As I said before, Deshaun Watson's contract, not really the benchmark for what quarterback contracts look like as a whole across the league right now. There's also the issue of investing that much money into a player that carries some potential injury risks. He has missed the last 2 years due to season-ending injuries towards the end there. He also hasn't had a ton of success in the playoffs, and his stats haven't been great the past few years either. As I mentioned, I think he has proven to be a huge part of their team's success. We saw that when he did go out with injuries, but it is very important for the Ravens to consider a lot of those factors in what could potentially be a possible contract extension there. Recent reports also indicate that all of the counteroffers made by Lamar Jackson have guarantees that exceed the Watson contract in Cleveland, and this is likely going to be the big sticking point when it comes to these negotiations here. He also doesn't have an agent, so these deals are being directly negotiated by the player with the team there. That tends to lead to players feeling unappreciated and undervalued based on just how negotiations go. The team is looking to get the best deal possible, and so that can make players feel undervalued there. At this point, a franchise tag does seem like the likely outcome of these negotiations, as neither side really appears super willing to compromise their valuation of what an extension should look like. the tag would pay Lamar Jackson $32,416,000 in 2023, but it's not necessarily unlikely that he refuses to play on the tag in order to get that long-term financial security. For Lamar Jackson, the franchise tag is certainly not ideal, as he could get injured. He is exposing that risk, and it could affect his ability to get a massive contract after next offseason if he gets injured or doesn't play super well. So there's not a lot of incentive for Lamar Jackson to want to play under that franchise tag there. For the Ravens, it's also not ideal because that entire figure will count against their cap hit in 2023. That's a pretty big number. Usually you can manipulate the cap so that number is a little bit lower. If it is a franchise tag, it fully counts against the cap there. Not to mention, we also have quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, possibly Tua Tagovailoa, all likely to get extended this offseason as well. With every quarterback deal that gets done, the price is likely to just get higher. So the franchise tag really doesn't fix the problem here. If they go ahead and look to negotiate with Lamar Jackson after next offseason, the price is probably only going to get higher. If this all is the case, the relationship might be fractured to the point that the Ravens have to explore potential trade. I would expect almost every team that does not have an established franchise quarterback to get in the sweepstakes for him if he does become available. I think the Falcons, Jets, Commanders, Buccaneers, and Panthers would really be the teams that I would expect to make a strong push for Lamar Jackson, as many of those teams feel that they need a quarterback to build around for the future. And at 26 years old, Lamar Jackson is in his prime, and a former MVP, he's going to be a very hot commodity on the market in a very unprecedented opportunity for a lot of teams to acquire such a good young quarterback. While Lamar Jackson leaving the Ravens has seemed far-fetched for a long time, more NFL insiders are discussing the possibility, and I really think that there is a real chance that their relationship gets fractured to the point that a trade becomes necessary. Do you think the two sides will find common ground? Will Lamar Jackson get tagged? Will they have to trade him? Let me know down below what you think. If you like NFL videos just like this and want to join a growing community where we talk about NFL drafts, do team breakdowns, player evaluations, mock drafts, and so much more, please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that like button while you are down there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.